morning everyone and welcome to Master Tarot. It's Libby and I'd like to first of all acknowledge our First Nations traditional owners of this land and the Warramai people. So thank you for joining us today. Myself, Master and Narine. What I want to have a look at, so for those that caught yesterday's video, yes, I'm recording two at the same time at the moment. Still getting over my head cold, still feeling quite sinusy at the moment, so I find if I'm on a roll, I'll just stay on the roll and get the videos done, unless something absolute crisis occurs. Now, what I wanted to have a look at today in this particular video is Iraq. Now, for those that don't know, Iraq is in the Middle East area, borders Iran and Kuwait, etc., in that sort of region. They had their democratic elections 9 months ago, but those, and there was a clear presidential candidate, but those election results have not been ratified as of yet, 9 months ago. What it is that, now I apologise if I pronounce this wrong, Moqta al-Sadr, who is a Kurdish leader, he was running for the presidential role. He wants to restrict Iran influence in Iraq. Apparently they're quite strong Iraqi blocs that are influenced by Iran, and he hoped to pull some minority groups together to be able to form government. He hasn't been able to do so. He's pulled out of trying to consolidate, and he has acknowledged that Iranian influence in the country is here to stay, so he's told his MPs to resign. So what's happened is that there's 3 major factions in Iraq. There is the Kurdish faction to the north, there is the Anbar to the west, and the Shia to the south. It is one of those countries that had its borders redrawn after World War II. Used to be Persia. That Western cartographers came along and said, well, there's a river here and we'll draw it down here, and there's a mountain range there and we'll draw it over there. So what they've done is they've encased a series of traditional tribes into a particular area where they may have been warring tribes and have now said, well, you're a country, get on with it. Often the new borders went through the actual traditional tribal areas, so some now are in Iraq and some are now in Iran. It's just all really a bit of a mess. What they really need to do is get rid of all the borders in that neck of the woods and redraw them around the actual historical traditional areas. So what's happened is that the Kurdish Prime Minister, now the Kurdish area is semi-autonomous already. They're to the north, they border onto Iran, are pushing for a decentralised model of government, and really what they're pushing for is what would call a confederation of states. So we have something similar in Australia where we have states and then we have a federal, but this is giving the states more power than what they would have under an Australian model. So basically what they are looking at pushing, the Kurds are pushing to do, is to redraw the boundaries around these traditional lands. So what's happened is that they've had no governance for 9 months now in Iraq. A couple of days ago there were protests against Iran. They were supporting al-Sadr, and the Iranian blocs, as I said, in the elections were soundly defeated. However, Iran does not give up that easily of their influence. Apparently the Kurds are trying to create a gas project in their area, with other Middle East countries backing, and these were bombed by Iran, who are wanting to force them to the table to include Iran in these projects. And now please tell me if I got any of that wrong. So it's an all very convoluted part of the world, because they were, and Afghanistan is similar. They are countries that had their own traditional territories that were ruled by a warlord of some sort, not necessarily called a warlord or a shaman or some form of leader, and these traditional areas were forced to work together, and they never have, and I don't know that they ever will, very effectively. So it does lead to the country pulling itself apart. Oh, right, off my soapbox and ask my questions. What I want to ask, a couple of questions. Now I'm going to use my Gilded Tarot Royale. Again, this is a reading I had done the other day and the recording failed, so let's see if they come up with similar cards. Will be interesting. Will Iraq break apart and become a federation? That's interesting. What's popped out? It's my Biden card. Although the US under Biden has basically pulled out of the area, pulled out of Iraq, they're showing no interest in supporting or stabilising Iraq. They are trying to get Iran back to the negotiating table in regards to the nuclear program. But this is about I don't think that this is Biden in this situation. This is a powerful male figure, and they do respect the male in that part of the world. There has been Iraq and Iran were actually extremely liberated and equal countries, but fell under religious regimes which stifled them back into wearing women wearing the coverings and being disallowed from certain professions or driving or things like that. But back on target. I'm seeing here a calm, diplomatic, fatherly figure who is very good at negotiating, and I'm just wondering what it is that he's going to negotiate. I don't know whether that's Al-Sadar or whether that's somebody else coming through. The whole world is in a state of flux at the moment, a state of dramatic change. My advice is to grit the teeth, hold on and embrace the change. Don't fight it because it's coming whether you want it or not. But it does also mean change in this particular part of the world. So please, Master, please, a full and Marine, a full Celtic cross. Will Iraq break apart and become a confederacy of states? Will Iraq become a confederacy of states? What is the future of Iraq politically? The future of Iraq politically. It's a yes card, but it is about coming together and working things out. It is about relationships. So it's about, and that goes with that King of Cups. Will tell me about the future of Iraq politically. Okay, thank you. Sometimes he takes a while to shuffle. Lots of times he takes a while to shuffle. Okay, Four of Wands is the signifier card. It is a yes card. I'm always drawn in this particular deck to the dragonflies at the top. Dragonflies are my spirit animal. The dragonflies also represent transformation. Being a 4, being a positive number, is also a yes card. But it is about... Okay, thank you, Master. Oh, I'm getting hit over the head everywhere between the two of them now. Narine and Master. Okay. What I'm getting here is very clearly a yes, that it's going to break up into confederate states. Because what I've got here is these 4 pillars, the plan, the messaging, with the family inside of them. It can be like a wedding celebration or something in other decks, but not in this particular deck. It is about the family being safe and secure within those 4 wands. So it's telling me that they're going to be separating into possibly 4 states, but the fact that they're going to form this protection around the tribal groups. I was going to say family groups, but tribal groups. Challenged by, money. It's always challenged by money. The doling out of the money. So you've got the Kurds to the north that have great wealth in their natural resources for the moment, because being aware that the world is moving away from gas, just not quite yet. There will be other states when they split up that don't have as much available to them as the Kurdish. I haven't looked to see what's in the west or in the south of Iraq. I assume there's oil in the south. There are also the ports to the south, the shipping ports. I'm not sure what's to the west or what's to the east. But this is about sort of doling out, but not necessarily ending up in fairness. So that's what the challenge is going to be, is how to fairly divide this country up. Base of it, temperance, balance and moderation, rebalancing and moderation. So this is about the just the rebalancing of the country, very much. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 colours there. Well, they're just about all the chakra colours, and then you have the yellow of the sun. So they are the chakra colours. But she's got fire and water, resources and water. It's about balancing the resources and water and coming back to a moderate position for Iraq. In the past, actions and consequences, well, we all know about that. Balancing the scales of justice, the yin and the yang, the sword of truth, right in the middle there. So, but this is in the past, which is interesting, but I think what that's telling us is that there is this realisation that this is going to be the way forward. Crowning the reading, the moon, okay, it's not going to be an easy path. There's a lot that's going to need to be brought to the surface, exposed, sorted out. This is not a bad moon card. It's about putting the wheels and cogs into action to turn the illumination of the moon. You do have the 2 pillars of wisdom there. You have the 2 dogs, the dog and the wolf, the domestic and the wild, that need to work together. But what's happened is this crab, which is the symbol of Cancer, which is about home and family and security, is tugging on this chain that's turning the cogs, that's lighting the lights and rotating the moon so that there is full illumination. So I actually don't mind that as a crowning reading. 7 of Wands, having to defend themselves. There is going to be pushback against this. Externally, 6 of Wands, I think this is how the country's going to have to go forward. The victory card. I think that's how it's going to have to, and it will, for the sake of its own future and for victory itself, victory going into the future. Internally, Page of Swords, which is the sword of truth and wisdom and intellect. It is only a page. This is a plan that is only in its infancy, but there is a realization that this is the truth, and I'm pulled to the two. Are they pigeons? They're not white doves, but in all honesty, a white dove is simply an albino pigeon or a white pigeon. Sitting on this sword of truth. So it's a fledgling piece and a fledgling realization of wisdom and truth. Hopes and fears, retreat, wounded, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be push against. There are going to be battles in regards to this. I'm sorry. There is going to be fighting. There is going to be those that find themselves pushed backwards, forced into a position where they just have to pause it and rest and respite for a while before moving forward again. But the outcome is a choice. There is a choice of which path to take. Do you take this path through with this plan and passion to the light and to this fabulous new dawn, or do you take this path into the thorny thicket, so to speak? So it is about a choice about which plan. So I don't know if you can see that on this card because it's quite dark, but you've got the one path coming through here to the light and to the future, and then you have a second path coming through here to this overgrown thorny thicket. They are at a crossroads about which path to choose. Another two, they are at this crossroads about what ship to bring in before it gets wrecked on the rocks, juggling the money. So this is about passion and plans. This is about finances, about what path to follow. But we do have the Six of Swords. The wisdom and intellect getting put in the boat and moved to calmer waters. And then we have the Nine of Cups, where it's all about celebrating, sharing. Sometimes you have the nine where the smug merchant's sitting in front with the cups all lined up behind him where he's guarding him, but this one's not. This one is about sharing with your fellow people. This is about community. This is about wish fulfillment, cheersing, however you like to put it. But yeah, I like that Nine of Cups. On the bottom we have burden. It's going to be difficult, but we are at, or Iraq is at this moment of unity by accepting diversity, which suggests to me a confederation. It is a yes card, but it is suggesting, but it's going to be difficult, but it is about accepting the diversity and bringing things to a culmination as they have this harsh truth, but it is going to lead to abundance of all. When they're not squibbling with each other, when you're not squabbling, and you pull together, even as separate entities, what you can achieve in regards to abundance is absolutely astounding. But they need this to realise this harsh truth. Slow and steady, progressive movement forward, working together, manifesting possibilities and a new beginning. There will be some disappointment. There will be some disappointments, but I do also have this authentic reform card. So there'll be there's an offer being made that some will be disappointed with, but we've got this authentic reform. This is about the ending a significant change, a death and rebirth. So what I'm getting is that yes, and it will be, even though it'll be difficult because humans being humans don't like change, well, a certain portion don't like change. As I say, grit your teeth and just go with it. But I am getting that, yes, that's the best way forward for Iraq going into the future is the forming a confederation of traditional territories. Instead of trying to, if there's more Shia than Kurds, then what they've got at the moment. I'm not saying there are, but I'm just saying as an example. If there are more Shia than Kurds, so more Shia get elected into parliament, the Kurds then get themselves ruled over by their traditional foes, which just leads to just conflict and aggression, which leads to destruction and poverty, and there's no good outcome about it at all. Whereas if they had these confederate states that had autonomy, and then a couple of leaders from each, an equal number of leaders from each that came together to work on a federal level, a couple of elected leaders from each that came together to work on a federal level for anything that was for the betterment of the entire country. Now, I don't know where that's coming from. They are at this crossroads moment, real crossroads moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a story with my intuitive cards and see where it leads me. Tell me, Meister, the future of Iraq politically. Fast rule. Okay, that's interesting. Or ruling fast. Making a fast exit. By also having the traditional states does reduce, one would hope, corruption, because they are more accountable to their own people. But that Six of Pentacles is an important card about what resources. There's actually something going on already in regards to this. They're busy in regards to this already. What resources each area gets. They will be different resources, so that's why you need the federal level for them to work together. So there will be different resources, but they will then be able to finance their own sector needs and wants. Okay. Future of Iraq. Meister and Narine. Future of Iraq. Narine and Meister. Please tell me the story. Future of Iraq. Getting a very fat deck of intuition cards here now. Future of Iraq. Pretty on point though. Future of Iraq. Future of Iraq on a government level. How will it go? Thank you. Right, let's see where these lead us. Oh, okay, well, not surprised about that at the moment. This is the energy that Iraq's in at the moment. And I would challenge anybody to disagree with that. It's a toxic, distasteful energy at the moment. It's not working for the country, put it that way. It's simply not working for the country. Okay. What we've got here is, this is the current energy. It's not working for the country. It is confining the country. It is keeping the country hemmed in, hamstrung, not reaching its full potential. This idea at the moment is just a drop in the ocean, but also water is essential in this plan as well. It's about working together. It's about sharing ideas. This card concerns me because this is my conflict card, but so I'm not sure what it's doing here in the middle here. Oh, okay, right, thank you. Oh boy, that was a double hit over the head from Master and Narin. Okay, they are talking at the moment in regards to this conflict that's going on between these territories. It's not good for the country. They know it's this energy. They know it's doing this to the country. It is drop by drop they are making a change by talking to each other about the conflict that's going on, and they do realise, and when I say they, I have no idea who they are, but it's those who are doing the talking amongst the areas. They realise that it is unity of diversity, so allowing the diversity but also allowing that diversity to come together is the ray of sunshine. Okay, what have we got here? So we've got, this is my alien card, but what it's telling me is that the current setup that is Iraq is alien to them. It's leading to poverty, all-round poverty, because there's no solution in its current form. And for the health and freedom of all involved, with this celebration, it is about getting together with your tribes in celebration. It is going to be hard work. There's a big pile there to be moved. There's a lot of work that will need to be done. I'm just thinking on this health card. Yeah, the health of the country is in poverty. Thank you, Meister. Thank you, Noreen. This is the current setup is alien to them. The health of the country is in poverty at the moment. To be able to return to the freedom, it needs to be a celebration of the tribes. I'm sure they don't call them tribes there. The territories, the people, but when I say territories, sounds like land. It's not about the land, it's about the freedom will be the celebration of the group, the individual groups of people. It's going to be hard work. Oh, this is an interesting line. So they're going to have to down the naysayers, the sad sacks, those that don't want things to change. And that is the key to the comfort going forward. Comfort, yeah. My cat card. I mean, how else can you explain a cat lying in a puddle in the sun? But yeah, there is going to be this downward pressure on the naysayers, which will be the key to the comfort. The country is at a there's this crossroads sign again. At a crossroads. The country is at a crossroads for the sake of the country, and strength will come through communication, through communicating it into the future. Oh, I do like this so far. Okay, see where this goes. Okay, so this is about playing the music. The noise. Okay. The noise on the world stage will be rebalanced in the past. Okay, right. What I'm getting here is the saber rattling, the fist shaking, the yelling that is involving the whole world and needs rebalancing is now in the past. Need to take a leap of faith for this home front, for each of the territories. There needs to be a leap of faith and rule via, but I've got fear here. I'm a bit worried about the fear card. Will be a convoluted path. Okay, it's going to be a convoluted path. Oh, it's the females that are going to do it all again. And there's my transformation. So the females, trust the females. These angry people will fastly be known as the country needs to entwine, needs to come together. But, okay, thank you, Meister. This entwining of the country needs to be outed as they help each other transform. Thank you, Meister. The breaking down of this is a go. I have my international card and then I have my blank card. So whether this is with international help, but the future is not yet written. It needs to go slowly. It needs to be official, and then we have happiness. So, but what I find quite interesting here is this feminine energy. Now, feminine doesn't need to be female. It just needs to be. It can be anybody with this compassionate energy, with this caring, with this wanting to get back to simplicity and nurturing energy. Need to trust that as this aggressiveness is fast going out. No longer want this fast aggressiveness. This intertwining of the country needs to be out, and they need to come together for this transformation. Future advancements, technology will lead to abundance, bullseye, and peace. Right, well, that was just confirming what the tarot was telling me. If I'm reading that story right, I'd love to hear if you read it differently. But what I am getting in regards to that is that, the Confederation of States with a single elected representatives, so the same number of representatives per state for the federal level for anything that is a federal issue, but that the states will have full autonomy. That's going to be an interesting time. We shall watch that, and positive cards, but it is going to be hard work. But it also needs to be something that the people say they want. So thank you for joining me today. That was I feel quite refreshed is not the word. I feel confident for the future, for our art going forward. Thank you for joining me. If you've got any questions, pop them in below. But love to you all. Take care. Keep up with the news. Stay sane. Do what you can for your fellow community, and look after yourselves. Love you all. Bye-bye.